Okay, yeah, 13. This is a video for self-confidence and self-efficacy. Usain Bolt seemed like a fitting athlete to have a picture of when we think about self-confidence. And you'll notice the quote there at the bottom, which is from Gould. Most consistent difference between elite and less successful athletes is that elite athletes possess greater self-confidence. Firstly, thinking about self-efficacy, Bandura put this forward. It's one of his theories alongside social learning theory and his work with Bobo dolls that I know we're familiar with from our aggression stuff. Ultimately, self-efficacy is self-confidence in a specific situation. All right, so self-efficacy and self-confidence are different things. Self-efficacy is self-confidence in a specific situation. So that once you've experienced success in a specific situation, or you know you've got some particular skills in that situation, you develop a level of self-confidence in that situation. If you are someone with a high level of self-efficacy, according to Bandura, you will seek challenges, apply effort, and persevere. Someone with a tendency to approach success. You need to think about how this work would link in with any 20 marker on exercise adherence, anything along those lines. They're also likely to attribute success to effort and ability, a basic and internal attribution. Alongside that, people who expect to be confident, and that word confidence there deliberately, people who expect to be confident in a particular situation are more likely to choose that activity. Think about balanced, active, healthy lifestyles. If you know you're going to be confident there, you're going to choose to do that. That confidence will often lead to success. Whether or not you think you're going to be confident in that situation is likely to determine whether or not you would take part and how much effort you would put in. So think about the times when you've been offered to do something new. Perhaps you've been invited to go to a new club, or you've been invited to take part in a new sport, anything like that. It's your level of self-confidence in that situation, according to Bandura, that is going to have an impact on whether or not you're likely to take part and how much effort you may or may not put in. Factors that affect self-efficacy. There are four key things to this, and this diagram's in your textbook. If I just show you the diagram, and then I'll come back to this. It's that diagram that you're looking at. So the four things are performance accomplishments. These have a massive impact on your self-confidence. Ultimately, if you've been successful before, previous experience of being successful, then the feelings of self-confidence are likely to be high. Vicarious experiences. Now, this is important. A vicarious experience is when you have seen somebody else who you think is your equal be successful. There's no point me showing you a video of Usain Bolt jumping 10 meters in the long jump, or a pole vaulter clearing whatever height they can do if they're an elite athlete, because you don't relate yourself to them. I could show you a video or show you a peer in your group performing something, and that would give you the confidence to think that you could do it as well. So a vicarious experience is something that you've seen, but also importantly, it's someone who you perceive to be your equal. Someone, if they can do it, so can I. Verbal persuasion is, as it says, you're encouraged to take part. Someone will say things to you, tell you things will be right. Why don't you just have a go? This will be fine. Yes, of course you can do it. And then controlling your arousal. And we've talked at length about arousal, of how aroused we are in a certain situation can affect our confidence. If you know you're under aroused there, maybe starting to have feelings of underperformance, then there's that element to it. If we've got over arousal, we know the negative impacts that can have as well. So those four factors feed into our efficacy expectations. Basically, what we are thinking is going to happen in that situation. Where's our confidence in that situation coming from? Our level of confidence, not just whether we are highly confident or having no confidence there, but that's a sliding scale. And that's going to affect your behavior patterns, choices, the amount of effort you put in, whether or not you give up or carry on, what you're worrying about, and where your attributions are. And that all ultimately leads to performance. So what you've got here is ultimately those four things: previous accomplishments, or performance accomplishments, what you've done in the past, what you have seen other people do, what other people are saying to you, and then finally your current level of arousal that is going to have an impact on whether or not you feel that you're going to perform well in that certain situation. Okay, take a second to look at this slide and ponder this situation. So, a fellow student, we want to have a go at the high jump. Let's imagine you're helping me teach a lesson to a younger member of the school, but he's got low self-confidence, so he's reluctant to have a go. So we've got those 4 factors on self-efficacy. Thinking of them, how would we try and raise this athlete's self-efficacy? How would we get the performer to take part? Just think about that for a second, and then we start to explore the reasons why. So think about it. We have, firstly, we will try and give him some initial success by lowering the bar. Okay, or we have that flexi stuff in school, you know, that doesn't fall off all the time and doesn't hurt when you hit it. Trying to raise confidence through giving previous success, previous experiences. We could demonstrate how it can be done, or because obviously I'm such a talented high jumper, I would use someone of a similar ability to that person, because I wouldn't want him to think, oh, well, Mr. Walker can do it, but that doesn't mean I can. Verbally encourage. Yes, we can tell him that he should have a go, and then tell him that to be worried is natural, and it's a positive response because it prepares the body well. So we're trying to make his anxiety, his negative over-arousal, a good thing. Yeah, so we're trying to get him to control his over-arousal there, his anxiety that's come about through that. Yeah, so that's a practical situation, and if you think you'd need to apply that in a situation, if we were in a question that was asking about someone with balanced, active, healthy lifestyle, how could we change it? It's those sort of things, those sort of responses you'd be looking for. Different to that is sport confidence and Veely's model of sport-specific confidence. Now, this is different, but very similar, because sport confidence and self-confidence is a trait. So self-confidence is a trait, and sport confidence is a trait in a certain sporting situation. So it's not as specific as self-efficacy. You are basically a confident sportsman. So some people are naturally good at sport, and you would be confident doing pretty much any sport. Yeah, the degree of certainty individuals possess about their ability to be successful in sport. So we're not thinking as specific as Bandura and self-efficacy. We're just thinking about sport confidence now. Specific model of sport confidence. And this is a little bit more complex, because what you need to think of here is, if you look at the boxes that are numbered 1, they are all impacting on the sport situation. So the performer's competitive orientation and your level of sport confidence, the trait. And we know that traits are stable, they're enduring, they don't change. Think back to our work on personality in that sport situation. That then feeds into box 2, which is our state sport confidence, the amount of confidence that you have got in that specific sport. Yeah, state sport confidence. So the difference between trait and state, trait is as we weigh across all situations, state is that specific situation. So state here is the sport. The performance in the sport situation is our behavioural response, so that feeds into there. So our level of confidence feeds into our performance. Yeah, so the performance is how we actually do. And then box 4 coming down is the outcomes, the results, subjective outcomes, your level of perceived success, and that bottom one says perceived attributions. Okay, so whether you've attributed that success to internal things. Do you think it's a success? Did you have different outcomes? Are they subjective? Are they objective? And then ultimately the results. Now all of those things feed back into a positive result having an increased level of trait confidence. So you've been successful, so naturally you're going to be more confident. Yeah, I know I'm good at this. Look, I've just won again. And then positive results change the type of goal to be used for the next performance. So think about what we just did on goal setting. If we had perhaps a process goal here and we'd been positive, we might be looking to move towards an ego goal, all right, an out and out, okay, I've improved that, now a task goal, I want to be successful, I want to beat him, or I want to do this, I want to win this. All right, it may well be that if we've had a negative outcome, that we haven't quite met our ego goal, we might change that next time to make that into a process goal. But again, that diagram then feeds back round into the sporting situation. When you come into that situation, it feeds into your competitive orientation. We'll talk about this in a little bit more detail in class because it's sometimes a little bit difficult to get your head around. But initially, again, with these two models. We've got the basic information now. We'll be in class on Tuesday. We'll start with a question, and then I'm going to put you get you put this knowledge into practice. Thank you.